You ever watch Coach K on the sideline?
Oh, okay.
He's on the sideline. Here's a play.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he's coming down and he's clapping, and he's always saying 2 words. Next play. Next play. Doesn't matter what you just did. It's the next play that matters.
Matt Woolley Podcast.
Today, my guest is my good friend, and we call each other associates.
Yeah.
Why not?
Say associate.
Why not? Ron Hopper. Ron, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for finally being on here. So I want to let everybody know that I wanted you to come on this podcast for quite some time. But you're a busy man with lots of things to do. And I'm so glad that you're here. So thank you for being on here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Taken from the Chick-fil-A script.
You bet.
All right, so who is Ron Hopper? As you guys know on this channel, we talk about the history. So Ron Hopper is a graduate of the University of Central Arkansas with a Bachelor's of Business Administration and Management. Your work experience includes District Sales Manager for Frito, Sales Information Specialist for Kraft Foods, Category Management Specialist for Fort James, Category Management Manager for Procter Gamble, and now, and you've been for quite some time, you've been a Retail Execution Leader for Duracell, and that's how I know you from the many years of working with you guys at Duracell. So let's get into it. Ron, where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Harrison, Arkansas. As I like to say, Walmart number 2.
Born and raised there your entire life?
Pretty much. Yeah, when I was young, my dad was in construction, so we went to the West Coast, to Oregon, for about 5 years, but basically came back. The funny part is we were coming back to Harrison for a vacation. We stopped in Colorado. He got offered a job in Colorado, so we didn't go back. He just called my uncle and told him to sell the house.
Oh, wow.
And so we spent a year in Colorado. Then we came back to Harrison for a vacation and never left.
Really?
Yeah.
So I came back and realized that that this was home kind of thing?
Exactly.
Missed
Family,
home.
everything.
Yeah, realized what he was missing?
Exactly.
I got you. So were you for Harrison, which I don't know if we could call it a city boy, or were you a city boy, or are you a country boy?
I lived in town.
All right. So you're city boy.
Yeah, right. I had 2 cousins, 2 separate cousins that lived outside, so I'd spend weekends and summers down on the farm.
Oh, nice.
And learn to be a outdoorsman.
Gotcha. So did you get into the whole hunting thing or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. My dad and I were hunting all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd you like to hunt?
We did squirrel, a lot of quail.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people have never eaten a squirrel in their life. You know, and yeah, I've eaten a million of them. They now, don't get me wrong, it's not like you're bringing home bagging this great trophy, you know, but it's meat, and if you know how to cook it right, it's pretty tasty. But I have literally to people that, which I grew up in the country too, as you know, rural Arkansas, but squirrel's good, man, and it's easy to harvest as long as you got somebody cooking it right. But people look at me like I'm a savage when I tell them I've eaten squirrel, and even a rabbit. I was like, rabbit's good.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So rabbit too, deer.
Not so much no deer.
No deer, really? In Harrison, y'all didn't kill deer?
No.
All right. Well, fishermen, did you fish at all?
A little bit, yeah. We had Bull Shoals Lake there that was nearby, so.
Yeah.
Or, as I would say, on the afternoons after school, I'd go down to Crooked Creek and go fish.
So, give me a little insight as to what it was like to grow up in Harrison at the time. Now, obviously, we know, which we're not going to go there, but we know that Harrison does carry somewhat of a reputation, even though it's not actually as accurate as some people would like to believe, but
But you did go there. You mentioned it.
Yeah, I did. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Because look, I would almost guarantee you've been in conversations where people have been on from Harrison, and all of a sudden it's like, what?
Right. I would agree that that's happened, but growing up, I saw none of that whatsoever.
Right. It's a beautiful town as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of great people.
Right.
So what did Ron do as he was growing up? Were you a sports guy, or I mean, what was young Ron?
What was young Ron like? Well,
Yeah.
At the age of 12, my father started working for Nabholz Construction, so he was out of town.
I didn't realize that company was that old. I guess it is, actually. I've seen advertised. It's really old, isn't it? Now that I think about it.
Well, now that you're implying my age.
No,
but
isn't it like almost a 80-year-old company or something like that at this point?
Yeah, they started in Conway.
Yeah.
But so he was out of town a lot. So, and my mother was a nurse. She loved the 3 to 11 shift.
Okay.
So I was like the original latchkey kid, coming home to an empty house. The only difference in Harrison, we didn't have keys because nobody locked their doors or anything.
Yeah.
So I just kind of ran around the neighborhood, stuff like that. I had a paper route at the age of 12 and just hung out a lot. Got a little bit older, got to be a Harrison Golden Goblin football player.
Nice. What position did you play?
Tackle.
Ooh.
Offensive line and defensive end.
Nice. Do you have any injuries sustained from that?
No.
That's good.
I didn't play enough. Let's be transparent here. I did not play enough to get injuries, no.
At least you play.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, so you transitioned from, and obviously you grow up there, you're doing the thing in Harrison. What made you want to transfer to UCA? Was it just because of locality, or, I mean, what was the reasoning? Because UCA's not that far from Harrison, right?
Well, Conway, it's 2 hours.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
So there's a reason? Or?
Yeah. There was a woman involved.
Awesome.
I met my future wife, and ironically, in the small town of Harrison, it was her senior year in high school that we met, and she was going to UCA. I had thought I'd go to university, major in architecture, but I followed her down to UCA.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, so there's your incentive. So when you got to UCA, did you have any idea what you were going to do with your life, or were you just going with the flow?
A little both. Originally, I went there intending to get a math major because I always loved math.
Really? Are you good at math?
I'm very good at math, I thought, but my roommate was a chemical engineering major, and he was taking calculus at the same time I was taking college algebra as a prerequisite. I looked at his book and readily decided I was not going to be a math major.
Yes.
And at that time, in the early 70s, the scope of real opportunities far limited versus it is the way it is today.
I understand.
So I assumed I would strive for a business degree and get out in the business world.
Gotcha. Okay. So what did Ron do? And you said, did you work, or were you just straight scholar, a hybrid? What'd you do?
Well, ironically, when I got to UCA, we're talking still in college, right?
Right, yeah.
I couldn't get away from my parents, I thought, because usually that's when people go to college, fresh, away from your parents.
Yeah.
Well, the dorm parents, I went to stayed in State Hall there at UCA, and the guy in charge of the dorm had been in the war with my dad.
Oh, really?
So
wow, that's wild.
So I'm going in.
What are the chances?
Exactly.
Were you, when you saw that, were you like, bummer, man?
Well, first of all, you go in to check in the dorm. They read your name, Ron Hopper. It said, "You know Doyle Hopper?" And I said, "Yeah." And said, well, we fought the war together, kind of thing. So they were watching over me.
Nice. So
to
making sure you.
By my sophomore year, I was what we call floor counselor at the time, working
Okay.
in the dorm,
Yeah.
in charge of all those corrupt
Young people.
minds. Yeah,
Trying to keep them straight. Did you do a good job of that?
fair job.
Okay. All right.
And then we got married after my junior year, and she got a job down older again. So she'd already graduated. She got a job teaching in Little Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was commuting my senior year from Little Rock back up to Conway, and they just opened a brand new Sears store on McCain Mall down in North Little Rock.
Okay.
So I worked my senior year there.
And this was before the softer side of Sears. This was this is when Sears was still kind of like Walmart ish.
They were big at the time.
Yeah, they were a big deal. Big deal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. What'd you do at Sears?
I worked in the paint department.
Oh, wow. I see.
So paint. He makes paint, yes. Come home and every night, and have to wash my clothes because I get paint all over me.
Yeah.
Things of that nature.
All right. So, what was, when did we, let's move forward. Okay. So I'm trying to get, you steer me on this career path because I know LinkedIn doesn't tell the entire story. So I use LinkedIn as my basis. So you're at Sears. What's the next progression?
Okay, let me back up one thing.
All right.
Because, you get through high school about 2 months before graduating. Our senior English teacher, Ruth McCoy, call out there, and she tells us that it's not what you know, but who you know that will make you in life. And, of course, we're all thinking, so why did we sit here for 12 years? But having said that, it didn't resonate with me at the time. But while at Sears, working in the paint department, right next to me was the housewares department. And there was a nice lady there, and I got to know her, visit with her and everything. And every afternoon, her husband came by to pick her up after work. Got to visiting with him. He just happened to be the regional manager for Frito-Lay.
Oh, nice.
So we would talk. He'd get there a little early. Not a lot of demand for paint, really, at Sears. Let's be serious.
Yeah. I was wondering what that was like.
And so we would talk and visit, and he said, well, let me know when you graduate, what you want to do. So upon graduation, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started interviewing a little bit everywhere, and
Yeah.
so finally took him up on it. Went to visit with him, started with him. So started in sales with Frito-Lay that July.
Oh, wow. Just right into it.
Right.
Wowzers. What was that like?
It was a step change for me because we did a lot of route sales at the time. That's carrying the product into the stores, getting off the truck. Yes, in July, it's very hot in the Frito-Lay truck.
Yeah.
And but it was a good key learning because you get to start making relationships with everybody in a store. Because think of your first line, let's use Kroger. Sorry. Didn't have Walmart Supercenters.
No, that's all right. Hey, there's more than one retailer than Walmart, and we talk about them here. It's okay, which we know who's the king. But,
using Kroger was the largest store I had on my route at the time.
And Kroger is a good store. Shout out to Kroger. There's none up here, but they were in Southern Arkansas. I always enjoyed a good Kroger.
Exactly.
All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
And so you start building relationships, and your first relationship was a guy at the back door that checks all your product in. You had to get in good graces with him or he'd find other things to do, make you sit out and wait. Then you have your department manager over, the snack area, stuff like that. And, of course, store manager. And in some cases, you've got a district manager. So you got to start building those relationships. And I built what I thought was a pretty good relationship with that Kroger manager. And, he'd let me have full reign of the store. Because at the time, we're filling up the rack. We're bringing in the product, putting it on the shelf, but also trying to, increase sales by doing displays. Chips is a very impulsive item, obviously. And, once you eat a bag, you got to come back and get more. So.
Right. Absolutely. I'm a living testament to this. I've never met a chip I didn't like.
Right.
Okay. So that was kind of, for people that are starting out, it sounds like you're saying that every relationship is an opportunity.
Exactly. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I kept building up my routes. They'd cut it back. I'd build it back up, things of that nature. And then they gave me the opportunity to move to Russellville to be a district sales manager for Frito-Lay. So I had salespeople reporting in to me then.
Oh, awesome.
My territory was basically everything between Fort Smith and Little Rock.
That's a lot of chips.
Yeah.
So, what's the greatest, and you may have already answered this, but what's the greatest skill set that you acquired in the beginning to the time? Obviously, you're talking relationships. Is there something else that comes to your mind in this part of your adventure, becoming the manager of all these things? I mean, what was it that made you? What was it that made them say, "You're the guy for regional. You're the regional dude"? What do you think it was?
Well, I guess my drive for success, my ability to, relate to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be the main key features, I think.
Mm-hmm. So what was driving success like at that time? Was it the putting in the hours or attitude or all the above? What was it?
It was definitely the hours
Mm-hmm.
and the positive attitude. The one thing you learn real quick on direct store delivery like that is patience.
Mm.
You're waiting on somebody to check you in. You're waiting for customers to get out of your way, things of this nature. So that's a key learning, which as a young man, I needed to learn patience.
I understand. I'm still there. I'm not a young man.
It's all relative.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So how did you transition? So you were at Frito-Lay for quite some time, several years.
Right.
How did you transition from Frito-Lay to Kraft?
That's actually a beautiful story, if I can share it with you.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for, Mr. Hopper.
Oh. Oh. Well, without getting into detail, there was a situation at work at Frito-Lay where I felt like I no longer had my management support.
Mm-hmm.
You tie that on to leaving one morning at 5 a.m. and saying goodbye to your 5-year-old son who's still in bed, and he rolls over and says, "Did you tell Mommy what time you were going to be home tonight?"
Mm.
So that was like a knife in the heart and everything. So,
You've been putting in a lot of hours.
oh yeah, definitely.
How old was your son at the time?
5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was really realizing I was missing out on the most important thing in life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, let's go back and let's stay on that for a second because that's very important. So, I mean, as soon as that hits you, I mean, he says a knife to the heart. So, I mean, I'm assuming this is something that's troubling you all the way to work and probably throughout the day kind of thing, like just resonating with you?
oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And so a combination of that, lack of support from the
Mm-hmm.
management, I decided, I'd move forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I resigned.
Oh, wow. You didn't have a job lined up. You just realized.
Well, again, let's look perspective of the amount of hours I'm putting in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go back to my parents, that's the one thing I take away I had from them as the work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
They were both hardworking and excelled in their roles.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty prominent in everything that I was doing at the time. And I realized I needed to focus more so on my family.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time period, because we're looking at mid-'80s,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't have a lot of communication. I was in Russellville, Arkansas,
Mm-hmm.
literally in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we sold the house,
Mm-hmm.
moved into an apartment so we could figure out what next steps were going to be. And so I didn't know what I wanted to do the rest of my life.
Really? Wow, what a leap.
And so I started reaching out to all kinds of things, anything. I like to say I got 125, and I kept them for a long time, 125 Dear Ron letters from different companies and everything.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to do next. So
That's awesome, man.
So one day, my son and I were sitting there having lunch, spaghetti of all things. Looked on the table, picked up a can of Kraft Parmesan cheese. I turned it around. There was Kraft Foods, one Kraft quart, Glenview, Illinois, 60018. I hadn't written them. So I fire off a letter to them. And literally had forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And in my free time, I picked up jogging.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I was out jogging, came back to the apartment, kind of got down on my knees and gave it over to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Literally had a conversation with him, said, I've done everything I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I release it to you.
Praise God.
2 hours later, I kid you not, 2 hours later, I get a call from Kraft.
Man, that makes me want to tear up. That's praise God.
Yes, we all have those God moments, but that was such a distinctive one in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I meet, at the time where I was located, they thought I fell in the Memphis district. So I met them halfway,
Mm-hmm.
according to their math, in Forest City.
Forest City.
Had an interview with them. Apparently it went well. And they got back to me and said, look, we want to hire you. We're just trying to decide where we want you. Because they were going to have openings either in Jonesboro or Pine Bluff.
Well,
Then your reaction tells you exactly what was going through my mind.
I'm from that area.
And so fortunately they had a sales opening in Jonesboro.
Nice.
So the family,
Lovely town.
we moved to Jonesboro. And I had the whole northeast corner of the state. And it was a learning curve for me because I'd always carried my product in.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to visit stores, and this is again the early days of the way CPG did business in stores. So,
Yeah, it was a lot of person to person.
oh yeah,
And there was cell phones were non-existent unless you were loaded.
we're still before even
Yeah, car phone. Zach Morris phone.
yeah. And so
Hey, let's stop right there. This just popped in. So, let's see if I can articulate this well enough. From that era, the person to person, the communication, the lack of not really lack of communication, but lack of accessibility to communicate easily.
right.
Have you seen, I mean, is the feeling different then as it is now? Now, I know it's a person to person, there's still person to person, but how you get stuff done and the vibe from it and how you went about the process of it and all these things. I mean, has there anything been lost? What I'm getting at, has there anything been lost with, in your opinion, with the accessibility of being able to communicate faster? Just off the top of your head. And it may not be, the answer may be no. But, sometimes, and the reason why I say this, I wonder sometimes, because the stuff that we do at Designsteins, right? Like, some of the stuff that we do, it took agencies, I know because I've done my research on it, it took agencies 2 months to get something squared away that would take us 2 days.
Right.
That propelled, and it's because of propelled communication and the access to that. But sometimes I wonder, because the reason why I ask that is because when you didn't have these things like email, and it was primarily like landline phones and straight visitation, it seemed like you'd get more one-on-one time. Am I off by saying that?
No, that's a true statement, I think, because we're physically going to the stores.
Mm-hmm.
And making the calls on store management, things of that nature. Nowadays, you try to catch them with a call. Probably not going to happen as well. But the accessibility that it gave us to communicate is much better. And the different ways to relate. Because I remember, well, I'll get ahead of myself here.
It's all right. We can jump back and forth. This is our show.
Because I got into a role before a lot of the company did that had access to laptops. And then all of a sudden you get emails and you're going, what? I can send a note to somebody and get a response, within like 3 minutes. I know in today's world, people think I'm speaking Greek or something, but really it changed. It was a game changer.
Sped everything up.
Yeah.
Everything, literally everything, but it also sped up expectations too.
That's the key.
Yeah.
It increased the communication, but the expectation for responses increased so much. Yeah.
All right. Well, see, we're having fun now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to it. So
We're back to Jonesboro?
Jonesboro, yes, sir.
Yep. Had fun selling face-to-face, things of that nature. And then I got the opportunity to move to Memphis. Yes, Ron has left the state.
Awesome.
Across the river.
yeah, just right over.
And in the Memphis market, called on a couple of small retailers there, Big Star, and there was a mega market group there that had huge stores, actually even larger than supercenters of today.
Really?
So, but they were
There really was a mega market.
Exactly. And a quick digression here. You remember that store manager that I worked with at Kroger? Okay, fast forward to I'm in Memphis. I'm walking across the store, one of these Big Stars, grocery stores, and who do I see walking at parallel with me over here? But that same guy.
Oh, wow.
He's now a district manager for the Big Stars over there.
Awesome.
So I have already made a connection.
You got rapport already.
Within 3 weeks of taking the job. So
Awesome.
that was good. Good learning process there.
What's the takeaway from there?
From Memphis? Or
Relationship.
Oh, the relationship, again, is the key. Just, it doesn't matter who you're with or who you're working with. Just always remember, I used to think back at that receiving clerk at the back door that would check me in. One day he could be a store manager. So you don't know what the future holds with your different relationships. So maintain those and work those as well as you can.
Awesome. Fantastic. Nice wisdom nugget drop there. All right. So you're in Memphis.
I'm in Memphis with Kroger. Started working with Kroger because at that time, unlike today where everything's done in Cincinnati, you had like 15 different what they call KMA, Kroger market areas.
Okay.
So the Memphis Kroger market, X number of stores, they managed their whole business from there. So I got to working with our sales guy there because he needed help when it came to getting stuff on the shelf and everything. So I started basically doing all the planograms. If there was a reset needed to be done in El Dorado, Arkansas, Ron would drive over there and do the reset and everything. Because he was carrying the whole planogram and everything up here.
Gotcha.
And Kraft had quite a few categories.
Right. This seems to be a lot.
And that was the way everything was done back then.
Really?
You had people, if you had a reset or a new store, you had all the manufacturers' reps came in, and you had certain people that were experts in that category. And then they would set all the product on the shelf.
It seems like a slow process.
No, actually, it went quite well at the time. Because, again, you had the guys that were touching, feeling, they knew
They just went and got it done.
Got it done.
Okay.
And but then there started this new discipline coming out called category management. And I'm proud to say I was one of the 6 or 8 category managers for Kraft.
Really? That's awesome.
In the beginning, yeah.
That's cool.
Because originally we had like 4, And our district manager in Memphis said he didn't want somebody in Dallas running his business. So he asked me, since Kroger was progressing as quickly as well, so we started doing the planograms on a computer.
Whoa.
Whoa, yeah.
Was it a Gateway?
I don't remember. No, actually, it was before Gateway.
Oh, wowzers. So it was either a Mac or a beginning Microsoft something.
I'll have to look and check because I was going through old stuff recently. And with my setup in my home office now, I've got 2 monitors, laptop in the middle, and that laptop is sitting on top of that first computer I had.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you've got to share pictures of that. Share a picture with them.
I don't understand how people that didn't lift weights could carry the thing, though. It's so heavy.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't ever have to worry about it breaking because it would break something if you dropped it.
Yeah, it built like the old ones were built like tanks.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so I got to learn all that, put all the knowledge that I had up here, into the software.
So when that was going on, did you have the idea? Because I've heard of people that have been that were involved in the technology transition days. Did you feel like this was the wave of the future, or did you feel like this is a flash in the pan, or where was your mind when all this was going on? Was it overwhelming, or was it more like this is a relief, or what was it like?
Well, first of all, you have to understand Ron's learning skill, learning ability. We all learn differently.
Right.
I don't do so well by auditory or visual learning, but hands-on learning works for me.
That's how I am. I got to see it and touch it.
So the whole part with the laptop and being able to put stuff in there worked fine for me.
Awesome.
And I just kept wanting it to get better and better. So I just assumed it was the wave of the future.
That's awesome. Well, some people at the time that I've talked to, which it's age group related too, because I've interviewed people or talked to people that are much older, but can still recall those days, and they fought it tooth and nail because it was a big change for them. They didn't like things to change. But you also, knowing you've seen a guy, you'd be seen like a guy that's always been, open to change and pivot and whatever's going to get the job done efficiently. I've worked with you many years, so that's my take on you. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I would agree. I've embraced change over the years because when you think about it and I guess when you look at the long list of my number of job changes is kind of smaller.
Yeah.
Compared to some people's.
Oh, yeah, you have a pretty...
But I've lived through the transitions of so many different companies, things of that nature. So, I've embraced change all along.
Okay, so let's transition. You were in Kraft Foods.
Well, we need to figure out how I got up here.
Well, okay, let's hear it. And I also want to know what Fort James is, because I have no idea what Fort James is. I'm sure you're going to get to that, but... While at Kraft still, and working with the category management people, I knew the planograms, as we referred to them back then, and everything. And we had connections, whatnot, and we had one guy calling on Walmart at the time. One guy. That's crazy.
And he asked me to come up and help set a couple of the new super centers. So I said, okay. I don't know exactly how I can help, but I'll try. So I came up and helped him set all the Kraft categories for 2 stores up here, the one in Bentonville and the one in Springdale at the time.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that was in April of 92. So by that summer, for some reason, Kraft thought that, Walmart might be a thing.
Had some intuition, did they?
Yeah. So we decided to put a team up here. And so we had like 5 salespeople because this is the first time they brought all of Kraft's categories under one roof.
Oh, okay.
Because you had Kraft Foods, and they bought General Mills. So you had all their products. Maxwell House was one of the brands.
I didn't know that.
Oscar Mayer. And we had a frozen dairy division as well. So they brought all those under one house with one category manager that they chose to help with all those. So that's what brought me up here to the West Arkansas.
Whoa, so you were that category manager?
I was.
That is crazy, dude. That's a lot to be over.
Yep.
Well, so let's talk about that real quick. So, I mean, what number one, was that overwhelming? And then number two, I mean, what were your initial thoughts of Walmart when you started kind of, because that's, in my mind, Walmart was already moving at a good pace, but it wasn't until the 90s that they really caught their stride.
Right.
So, I mean,
Well, I didn't answer that. Remember, I grew up in Harrison.
right,
Store number 2.
right.
I went to school in Conway, store number 5. So I had lived Walmart my whole life.
Gotcha.
And plus it gave us as a family a chance to come back up to Northwest Arkansas as we had aging parents 2 hours away.
Gotcha.
And I just assumed it was new and exciting.
That's awesome.
Now, keep in perspective, though, at that time there was only 25 supercenters.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's awesome, though.
And one of the things that came out of that, and to show you how, for lack of a better term, simpler it was back then, because I was helping to, that was when they were also at the time when Walmart was transitioning. They had local grocers supply all their stores. And then they started building their own DCs to support the grocery side of it. And so then they had to figure out the mods for those. See, I can translation to Walmart, call them mods. And in some areas, this was new. And at the time, again, Oscar Mayer was a new brand for me, a whole new category. You know, you had 28 foot of sliced meat at the time. And putting that on the shelf and everything. Again, it was the simpler times when you'd have 15 meat reps come in and they do it all, and 4 hours later they'd go have lunch together and leave. And but when you're doing two, 3 super centers a month, you're fine. But when you start, with the growth, they had to get everything computerized and the mods. And so, if I can drop names, Randall West was the meat buyer at the time. And so he'd finish his day job, 5 o'clock or something. Then he'd walk the 3 blocks over to our office, and we'd work from 5 till 10 at night, putting together the mods for the meat department, because there had never been a database created for the meat department.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
So he'd sit there and start saying, I want to put this, this, and this. And I say, well, how big are those packages? And he said, well, it's about that and about that. And then the next day I'd go to the super center, measure them and say, okay, you're off about 4 feet on this section. So we had to correct that, things of that nature.
Wowzers.
So it was a great learning curve.
Do you look back now with all your experience and see don't worry about the time, we get this. Do you look back now with all of these memories? I mean, when you go through a Walmart now, do you say, does it ever pop in your head like, I was instrumental in this? Do you see stuff on the shelf and the places, and does it come to you like, I was instrumental in helping this evolve? I mean, does it ever pop in your head?
A little bit of me that brings that out, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. We do too. I mean, here's the thing, like, it's part of your work.
Right.
And so we feel the same way at Design Steins. Like, if we help somebody with a package or display or whatever it is, like, I'm always the first one, like, oh, we did that. And then and people are like, either, okay, cool, and they're like, oh, really? you know. But it's awesome to be part of that thing, you know. And but you know, that's a little bit more. Ours is a little less. I wouldn't say less important, but that's memorable because you were part of a process that helped it to evolve to this point, and that's pretty cool, you know.
When you look back, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so for the sake of time, let's transition you from Kraft Foods to Fort James. So number one, forgive me to all the viewers if I'm insulting what Fort James is.
No, you're not.
Okay, what is Fort James?
Well, first of all, I got to a point in my career I didn't see a lot more advancement at Kraft. And so I worked with Cameron Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Cameron.
Great.
Looking
Wonderful human being.
Right.
God rest his soul.
And so he lined me up with Fort James, which at the time it was a small company. You know, the brand Quilted Northern,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Brawny towels,
Yeah.
Dixie plates.
All
things of
right.
that
Now I'm
nature.
in the know. All right.
And so I was there a very short time.
Yeah.
And I quickly realized there were larger companies in those categories, like P&G,
Right.
you know, with Charmin and
Yeah, absolutely.
and all those. And so,
Was P&G located in Fayetteville at the time like it is now?
it's been there since the 80s. Yeah.
I thought it'd been there for a while.
Yeah. That whole story is just instrumental.
Well, let's go on over to it because I'm interested in the P&G years because that is such a it's its own culture. Like
Right.
I've met a lot of people that have been a part sewn. You know, they're part of that. You know, the P&G fabric got sewn into them really because it's just they have a whole thing. So, please.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the relationships.
Okay.
And I had a real close friend at Kraft that we worked in the space management part and the sales information part. Two of us together could solve for anything. If one couldn't figure out, the other could. And then just our conversation together, everything gelled. Well, he'd left the company and went to work for Gillette on the Duracell business. And he was getting promoted and he needed somebody to backfill him. So he asked me to come backfill him on the Duracell business.
Let's see. Now I'm seeing the dots connect.
And at that time, we were owned by, the brand was owned by Gillette. And so, again, category management role, working the batteries, everything. And again, those were the days when you really had close relationships with the buyers and you went out, store visits with them, things like that. So you saw for the world there. And that's probably one of the top 5 years of my career right there, was with the relationships with our team, the whole Gillette atmosphere and everything. It was just phenomenal. And then 2006, P&G bought the Gillette business, which I think part of that was orchestrated behind the scenes by Warren Buffett, because he at the time obviously had a whole lot of P&G stock and to see it grow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then we migrated from Bentonville down to the big house in Fayetteville, became a part of the P&G world.
What was that like? Because I mean because again, I've heard P&G, and it's no diss to them. It's they have a very strong culture code and lots of different, my understanding, training methods as to how to be a P&G guy.
Okay.
What was that like?
Well, it was sort of like being the stepchild, to be transparent, because to your point, P&G's got a great culture and way of doing things. They have a great internship throughout the company. They hire a lot from those interns, and then quite naturally everybody's brought up in the P&G world, but we were brought into it kind of separate. So there was a big learning curve on how everything's done. Because I had competed against P&G products most of my career. You know, I was with Frito-Lay when they came out with Pringles.
Oh, wow.
and things of that nature. So, and we always thought they were, the exceptional company, and they are. I kid you not, they are in so many ways.
Mhm.
But it's nice to get on the inside and know they're real people too.
Yeah.
I have still a lot of friends at P&G, and again, it's the relationships. It's the people the company, the products, all that are great, but it's the people that you work with day in and day out. And that's what made it very interesting, and learned so much because of the way P&G focuses on so many different things. And
what was it what are the big takeaways that you got trained up at P&G?
Just the way they look at their brands and drive, their success through their brands. And it and their people. They really believe in their people, and they give them so many opportunities.
That's great.
But like in P&G, though, you don't always get to stay in some roles as long as you'd like to. So
I have heard this. Yeah,
I think they've made a big transition, realizing people need to stay in some roles longer to learn those, to get better at them.
I've been told it's full of a lot of A-type personalities as well. Would you say that that's correct? Drivers, just really driven, outspoken. Would you say that that's the case?
Yeah, maybe A+. And just some of the backgrounds. I'm sitting in a meeting, and this account exec, she's going over this, and this, and I said, "You're so good at that. How do you drive all that?" And she said, "Well, I was the number 2 person on a nuclear submarine, so I kind of learned things." But and some of their backgrounds, the people that they get through West Point and others, and
I have to take no prisoners.
quickly digress with one quick story.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
And down there, one weekend it was the Army-Navy game, and obviously you had some salespeople or account managers down there. There was some that graduated from the Naval Academy, some from West Point. So I drive in that day, and the big office they have down there in Fayetteville, draped across the front of the building was this huge banner, massive banner. You would have loved to have been able to make it because it was handmade, obviously. But it was a big Go Navy, beat Army.
That's hilarious.
And then the guy that did it had to leave, and he had a call at Walmart. So he comes back, and he finds the way we had a lot of cubes, and you go down the aisle to his cube is this banner shredded all the way down. You get to his cube, and there's nothing in it. The 3 guys from West Point had taken everything out of his desk, moved his desk, everything, and set it up in the women's restroom.
That's awesome.
That's one of the best, I think, office-type pranks that I've ever done.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So kind of explain the transition, because obviously you're working on the Duracell business at Procter Gamble, and then Duracell was sold.
Well,
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Again.
All right. I'm sorry.
But again, you don't stay in the same role a lot of times at P&G. So I moved from category management on Duracell to working with the retail organization over all the household needs, because basically P&G separates things between health and beauty and household needs. So I was working with Tide, Bounty, Charmin, Pampers, all that side. So that gave me an insight on the retail business.
Okay.
And working with originally we had an internal organization called Retail Pulse that was all P&G employees. Then we transitioned to a third party managing that at store level.
Gotcha.
And then fast forward to where you were going in 2016 when P&G sold the Duracell business to Warren Buffett.
Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All he did was
and just separate you.
P&G stock over.
Separate you, yeah. That's good. And I know that's been an interesting journey as well, but you guys have seen a lot of success out of that too.
We have. It's interesting to work as a team, smaller team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go from 140 people down in the P&G office to 8.
Yeah.
It's a transition.
But, we do, speaking from our side, Duracell seems to have a really great culture. Everybody we've ever met with the Walmart team, and we've had the opportunity to work on some of the Costco business as well as Latin America. Quick throw out there. A lot of people don't know this, but the pink bunny that Energizer likes to tout around was originated with Duracell. And we didn't know that until a few years ago. And it's a whole thing, but you should look in the story. It's a very interesting story, and one that Duracell is still aggravated today over. Or am I wrong?
Well, you bring up some of the most interesting.
Well, I'll tell you. So here's the thing. When I told it, I was floored. And the reason why is was because we had the opportunity to deal with Latin America. Mm-hmm. And then Latin America all of a sudden sends this. And again, we were just focused on, honestly, the Walmart business. That's really wasn't a little bit of Costco. It's North American business.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, Latin America shows us some of their assets. Like, what? And, I'm sorry, I felt stupid, quite honestly, that I didn't know this. But it's a very interesting story. But, yeah, you guys were the originators.
Right.
So
we just failed to renew the trademark.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
needless to say, that gentleman's career was cut short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's funny. I find that stuff interesting. It is what it is. But it's a wonderful company, and culture wide within the company. It's just great. Duracell seems to be guys that, in our experience, that just there to solve problems. When a bubble arises, some little thing pops up. You're the first people to say, okay, how do we solve this? And a lot of go-getters too. We've had an opportunity to work with a lot of people throughout the organization, and everybody's just got real good attitude and strong work ethic.
Right.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Good. Yeah. Thank you, sir. So what is the, speaking to new people out on the scene, Ron? Don't mind the clock. It says we got 6 minutes, but we got all the time we want, Ron. So, speaking to new people starting a career, we've already covered the relationships as a key point. What else? What other offerings could you offer to a young career person trying to get their foot in the door, trying to make things happen? You're a guy that has a history of making things happen. So what's your advice beyond relationship?
Well, I think, first of all, listen. Being in the category management role and going to sales calls with salespeople,
Mm-hmm.
I learned a long time salespeople don't listen. So I would encourage everyone to listen, absorb as much as they can. The one part of my career that I failed to expand upon was mentors. And in my early career, I had an excellent mentor, but then it seems like throughout the rest of my career, I kind of neglected that part.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd strongly suggest young folks to reach out to and get a good mentor, someone to share, the things, someone that you're comfortable talking with so that you can say the things and they can be quite frank with you. Mm-hmm. And share with you the things you're missing.
Okay.
But listen to anybody and everything, because, you can get so much information. I know we look on our phones for all the information in the world still, mm-hmm. or now, mm-hmm. but regardless, just listen to those around you.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice. How does Ron handle failure?
The early Ron used to kick boxes. He'd fail and get back on that Frito truck, and he'd kick boxes, and then he'd have to pick up the crumbs. But I just try to understand, if it's my failure, what I did. If it's somewhere else, where's the issue, and see what I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to improve. Mm-hmm. You don't ever stop improving.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Even when you get to the sunset of your career, you still want to improve on what you can do and what you can do in that next chapter.
Awesome. How do we celebrate successes, Ron? You had a lot of successes in your time. How does Ron celebrate successes?
Just the memories and the people that helped make that happen.
Is that your greatest takeaway, is the people?
Yeah, it is. I said, earlier that the 5 years transition into working on the Duracell, we had an excellent team. I learned so much from the salesperson there, the person that brought me over. We still continued to learn so much together, but we had fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the last couple of years on our Duracell team. We are so close as a team, and if we make mistakes, but we can't harp on those. We've got to figure out a way to quickly correct it. And there's something you just can't correct. You just got to move forward on.
Good.
And just the support we give one another, it's just simply amazing.
So don't dwell on it. Just move forward.
Move forward. You ever watch Coach K on the sideline?
Oh, okay.
He's on the sideline. Here's a play.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he's coming down and he's clapping, and he's always saying 2 words. Next play. Next play. Doesn't matter what you just did. It's the next play that matters.
That's awesome. Ron, I can't think of a better way to conclude the podcast. That was epic.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you so much for being on. And I hope you'll come on again and won't wait another 40-something episodes to do so.
I look forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.